Hey everyone. First of all, my last Doomfist video popped the hell off. I think I'm finally into the YouTube algorithm or something, because I never had a video be that successful as soon as I put it up. This is actually the first video I hadn't needed to go around the internet posting everywhere, like on Reddit and like the Overwatch forums to get some views. So yeah, this was very exciting. I couldn't even sleep that night. So thank you. But yeah, anyways, let's go back on topic. So this is a continuation of the Fixed Doomfist series. Like I said in previous videos, originally it was just going to be one video, but as I kept doing research on Doomfist and looking into why things were done, I realized every skill is going to need its own video. So just like the previous format, at the end of the video, I give my suggestions of how to fix it, and I also add on one wild card addition to the moveset. And so far, I think everybody's liked my suggestions so far. So hopefully you guys like this one too. Now, this one was an odd one to do. I didn't even think I was going to have to do a Seismic Slam video, because I actually do like the mechanics of how it works. It does need a lot of work, but I think even for what it is now, it's a pretty good, it's a move that makes sense, let's say. So first of all, it's a great way to enter a fight. Doing 50 damages to the entire team every 7 seconds is great. He gains 30 shields for everybody he hits, so, if you hit the entire team, that's about 150 HP he kind of instantly gets every 7 seconds. It also makes for a great escape and stall mechanic, because, you're really hard to hit when you're flying through the air. And one of my favorite things about this move is it's a great counter to Tracers. There's been several times where I just kind of do it. I don't even know where the Tracer is, and I just kind of kill her. Or, you do 50 damages and then you take away essentially a third of her HP, so she has to like back off. So yeah, that's a nice little perk of this move. Now remember, originally Seismic Slam had a slowing effect when you hit the ground for everybody that was hit by it. But they decided to remove this slowing effect to the move because, from my memory, from what they said, it made his ultimate too easy to hit. Yes, it made his super shitty ult that nobody likes better. The only thing that would have made it a more viable ult to use. And don't get me wrong, I'm pretty good at, landing the hit, but for that to be the only reason they gave as to why they removed it, that's like everything I said before, is one of those decisions that's super fucking aggravating. But I'll expand on this when I do the Meteor Strike video, so stay tuned for that. But anyways, I'm sure it's because it made Ana and Zen guaranteed kills, but they just didn't want to say that, and we're also going to elaborate on that a little bit more later. But even ignoring of how it affected his ultimate, it also made it easier to land your punches since everything was slowed down. And with such a high-risk move like the Rocket Punch being able to hit better, this was actually a great addition. So it was also for yourself, but even more important, it was great for your team. Yeah, because it made things much easier for your teammates to hit. It was a big utility for the entire team, and goes along with his theme now of how, his damage kind of sucks, but he's great at like all this utility abilities. Okay, like I said in my How to Play Doomfist video, he's really good at setting up your team to clean up the enemy team. He keeps everybody at a low health so that the heavy hitters on your team can 1 or 2 shot whoever they're fighting, and slowing them down would have further facilitated this his new game mechanic. But yeah, it was a very cool effect, a very cool mechanic, but if I'm being honest, despite all the praise I'm giving it, I don't really know how necessary I think it actually was. I just wanted to give some background on the ability. And with this, I think I can move right into the tweaks and improvements I think they should do to this move. So the first one is pretty obvious, and I'm pretty sure, anybody has already thought about this. I think the damage should vary depending on how close the enemy is to you when you're landing. It would make much more sense to me if it would make much more sense to me and have, at least some form of skill involved if, everybody who's closer to you when you land takes more damage and everybody further away takes less. Now, granted, I say skill, but that's not such a difficult thing to do, right? But at least you'll get rewarded for actually aiming for a target if you're just blindly spamming it, hoping to catch something. Because, honestly, like I said earlier, I kind of just do it blindly. because no matter where I hit, everybody in the area is going to be hit for 50 damages. Like, there's no consequences. You oftentimes you just kill somebody you don't even know was there, like Tracer, specifically Tracer, which I do love doing because I fucking hate Tracer. So as for the damage, what should it do? Maybe 75 damages in the area closest to him, down to 25 damages in the furthest edges, and I guess 50 damages in the in-between, or whatever scale they have for it. And again, this requirement isn't that necessary, right? It's already pretty good where it is, because, you know, they just kind of averaged all the numbers I gave. However, there has been several times where I'm chasing somebody and I land right on top of them, and I'm proud. Like, you feel good when you're landing on top of the person when using this move, but there's no, you know, there's no reward for it. There's no incentive to do that. But yeah, oftentimes I land right on top of a person that I'm trying to chase, and I'm just like, yeah, that was a good hit, but, you know, the game doesn't give a shit. And oftentimes they barely live long enough to get away, so, you know, it is what it is. I also think something like this will help with his lack of damage problem. Being able to do more damage to the enemy you are targeting goes a long way, especially with, again, his damage is very, it takes a lot for him to kill anybody, like literally anybody, even the support characters. He has to throw everything at them to be able to kill somebody with like 200 HP. So the next idea is very similar to what I just said, but kind of in the opposite sense, as in a more defensive use for this move. But I'm pretty sure everybody knows that he needs to generate more shields or overhealth now when using his moves. And I think the closer you are to an enemy when you land, the more shield you should generate, or overhealth. I'm not going to get used to that. Right now, everyone you hit generates 30 overhealth for you. I think it can be split to 30 at the far edges, 40 in the mid area, and 50 overhealth for everyone right around you. Meaning hitting an entire team would give you 250 to 150 overhealth, which I think is very reasonable considering how easy it is for him to be killed. And remember, Ball gains a base 100 HP when he uses his adaptive shields, but he also gains 100 HP per enemy around him. That's a gain of 600 health, or 700 if there's a Bob. Doomfist's Seismic Slam should serve a similar purpose, because if you think about it, his slam is kind of a mix of Hammond's Prowl Driver and his adaptive shield move, but just like in one. And again, I don't think giving him the ability to gain 250 HP is that bad when you consider how incredibly fast he dies right now. And every tank in the game besides him has a very powerful survival skill. Doomfist still can't stop damage since he still takes 20% damage in his power block mode, while D.Va has like 2 lives, you know, getting mech'd and demech'd, and she has her defense matrix on top of that, which is extremely powerful. Sigma has his shield and his sucking ability that gives him up to 400 health. Orisa can deflect incoming damage with her spear, and her fortify ability gives her an extra 125 health and reduces damage by 40%, which essentially means that that's like 208 more effective HP. Yeah, I think I'm right. 125 divided by 0.6 is 208. I believe I did the calculations earlier. I think I'm right. I hope I'm right. I'm an electric engineer, so I think I should be good with numbers. But anyways, you get the idea. I'm going to interrupt this video to remind you to like and subscribe. If 10% of the people who watch my videos were subscribed, I would be able to be a YouTube partner or be an official YouTube channel. So please, guys, help me out. Some more crazy suggestions. This time I kind of have 2. The first one is kind of, okay, that's not, you know, that crazy. You can see it. But the second one might be a little odd. So I could suggest the mechanic he had in Overwatch 1 where the more airtime he has, the more damage it does. Or maybe a damage over time lingering effect. Like the ground is covered in lightning effects and it's, you know, slowly zapping enemies over time. But honestly, I don't think it's necessary. I really do think the move is already pretty good. And if you stack the proximity damage thing I suggested earlier on top of this lingering damage system, or on top of the more damage with more airtime system from Overwatch 1, this move would be very powerful. Maybe a little bit too powerful, because it hits everyone every 7 seconds. So if you're every 7 seconds you're doing 100 damages to the whole team, that can get pretty crazy pretty fast. And the Doomfist now isn't designed to do a ton of damage like that. Again, I say this every video, he's designed to do to whittle away at the entire enemy team at the same time, making things easier for your team to come in and clean up. And another thing I feared when I first thought of it was, Doomfist not playing with his team, instead climbing buildings to try to get a better slam. But the move itself allows you to go up so high, you can get to the same heights from just launching yourself from the ground. So I don't think that'll be much of a problem, but just something to consider. Now for the second wildcard suggestion, maybe having it pull everyone a few meters towards the center would be nice for him to do. For those of you who remember, in Overwatch 1, his Seismic Slam would pull people towards him. So maybe this time, he kind of just pulls everybody towards the center. This will actually help him be able to punch entire groups of people at a time, or even help him with his ult. However, the Overwatch team did say that they hate CC now, which is weird because he still is the Boop King. But it'll be kind of cool to have him have a move that punches people away and a move that pulls people together. So if they correctly, he'd be pushing and pulling people all over the place, but setting things up for not just him, but the entire team, which I think will make up for his lack of being able to kill anything. It feels like maybe the reason he's so incredibly weak is because they couldn't get rid of his CCing characteristics that is kind of integral to his character design. So they kind of had to build around it, but who knows? But that would make sense to me, right? If, he just sucks so bad at killing people, but in return, we're able to, move the team around, pulling them together, pushing them away with a punch. I think that would work pretty well. And again, he will be more of a facilitator for the rest of his team. So anyways, the next video will probably be what most of you guys were waiting for, the Meteor Strike. That one is a bit hard to do because it's so simple, but there's reasons for making it such trash. But the reasons they made it such trash was somewhat reasonable. Essentially, it wasn't fair that you get a guaranteed kill on an Ana or a Zen whenever it's used. But yeah, I've got a few ideas for that, but yeah, I have to make that video. Anyways, see you guys next time. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave comments too. I hear that's good for the algorithm. And again, I don't do this full time, but if 1/6 of the people who watched my last video subscribed, I would finally be like an official YouTube channel. So, help me out. Goodbye, everybody. I love you.